So in the previous episode of the magical revolution of the reincarnated princess and the genius young lady, I think I'm just gonna shorten it to Tenten Kakumei. Anyways, we got introduced to our two main characters, whose name I've currently forgotten. Well, Anise and Euphyllia. There you go. We've got introduced to those two and how they've met. As I mentioned before, I really like the way that they started the anime compared to the way the manga started, but we'll just have to see how they continue it with the second episode. So I'm a little excited to see how it goes. But if by the end of the reaction and or discussion you find that you've had a good time, remember to leave this video a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And if you didn't enjoy, then feel free to dislike the video. Anyways, something about Patreon or whatever, you know, if you want full length or I don't know, early access or whatever. We'll just have to get started. That's not how I say it. Anyways. Nice signature, bro. Nice mustache too. You see how it's... We're just two pals. Yeah, we're just bros right now. Anisphere. Hey, you're using her invention though. 2 years older. Damn, what's he been doing? Oh, so he knows about Laini? She just needs to get good. Congrats! Ooh, the opening. Two birds flying together. I'm always down for anime that shows you fucking backgrounds instead of just characters in like a, you know, like a blank white space. Very nice. I like that opening. Very nice and fitting. Damn. We showed the beating off screen. I kind of ended up crashing. Hold on! He did it. This girl, right here! Right next to it. Man's walking in his own path. It's just that he's dragging everybody down with him. Why did you not get good, daughter? Be better. I've come to take her in my arms. Come on. What is she, fucking property? Look, if Algard isn't taking her. It's overpowered. Uh-oh. She fits perfectly in my magicology. It's a 3-for-1! Ah. So then she'll get her reputation back. Wow. You're gonna be the spokesperson! Or she just wants to do the research. Yeah, sure, definitely. Uh-oh. What did she say? With a woman. She really just came out to her dad. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Damn. Or she's about to shed a single tear. Come on. Oh, you're gonna pet her? Mm-hmm. He's saying that he hasn't been a good father. Yeah, well, look where it left you, huh? Where it got you. Mmm. Too well. Oh, there you go. It's going in for the pet. For a second there, I was like, how are those tears dripping like that? Because it was like on the opposite ends of her feet. I was like, damn, is her face that long? Well, let's all blame Algard. Hmm. Oh, 2 shooting stars? Yeah, let's just cross Algard off the fucking list. It's just a nightmare for her to be queen. Hey, it'll be the first time in the country to have 2 queens at once, huh? Hold on, it's like nighttime right now. Just give up. I'm gonna take you to my basement. He'll get to her head. Well, that's why you're here, Euphyllia, to put her down to her place. Well, that's understandable. You know, the grass is greener on the other side. Throwing a fucking tantrum, dude. An interesting thought. You just hear that fucking music kick then, I'm just like... You didn't have to violently take off her clothes like that. Look at that fucking dopey smile of Anise. And myself. You're just as crazy as the rumor says. Oh, isn't it because she has the freedom to do it? I like that they incorporate this childhood memory that she has. The acknowledgement. For both profit and pleasure. Wait, wait, it ended? What the heck? Hold on. Hold the phone. Alright. I don't know, maybe there might be after credit. Alright, we'll see how the ending is. Wow, that felt really short. I really like that. Meanwhile, Anise is always out here with her maid. Meanwhile, Yuffie's out here with no one. And she's always had a smile on her. Alright. That's a nice and simple ending. I like that. Rainbow Magic Sword of Longing and Remnants. Oh. That's it. There's no after credit. Damn it, I got hit with the same thing again. Damn the preview that only lasts for like a second. Alright, well, I guess we'll be back to the center. Alright, so that was the second episode of Tenten Kakumei. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. I don't know why I'm feeling out of breath right now, so if you hear me breathing a little heavier, I apologize in advance. But I really like this episode. I've been really enjoying how the anime's been doing with this series, and as I mentioned during the reaction, I really like the way that they incorporate this childhood memory that Anise has. You know, when she saw Euphyllia for the first time, because if I remember correctly, and feel free to correct me if I don't remember it correctly, in the manga, they don't really showcase that whole childhood thing, so the way that Anise is, like, putting herself on Euphyllia, it feels a little iffy. You know, that's kind of how I felt with their relationship in the beginning, and how... you know, like with her dad, Orphanse, pointing out that she's gay, you know, she likes girls, and then there's Anise making all these jokes about, like, you know, like, hey, come onto the bed, or, you know, fucking stripping her and all that shit. I kind of felt a little iffy there back in the manga, but because I kind of felt like I didn't really know too much about Anise and why she has that connection to Euphyllia. That's what I felt during the manga anyways. Again, feel free to correct me if that's not how the manga was and I'm just misremembering shit. So yeah, I like that they incorporate that, and I just overall like essentially this constant praise and compliment that Anise is giving to Euphyllia, because that is something that Euphyllia doesn't really get. We can see that with the interaction between her father and her, and how her father had to come and apologize after he looked at the relationship between Orphanse and Anise, and he's just kind of like, wow, so this is how a daughter and father relationship is supposed to be? Man, I must be a shitty father then. So he has to go and apologize to Euphyllia, and he's just like, yeah, so I'm sorry, I thought that I was doing good by encouraging you to be the perfect girl, but it seems like that's not it. Here you go, have a pet. Hopefully they'll make up for all the times that I wasn't a good father. But I like seeing that bit of turmoil that Euphyllia is going through, because as her father said, you followed my plan, or yeah, whatever, you followed my plan a little too well, but in the end, it all didn't work out, and so here is Euphyllia feeling like this is all her fault, despite her doing everything that she should have been done, that was expected of her. Everything still crumbled into pieces, Algard fucking revealed this whole shit in front of everybody, ruined her reputation, and for the most part, if it wasn't for Anise who recruited her as her assistant, Euphyllia would have had nowhere to go. So, by the way, I remember in the fan scanlations, they would call Anise Anne Sophia, and then halfway at some point, they started changing the name to Anise, which, got me very confused at some point, because I'm just like, what the hell is her name? Anne Sophia? Anise? Kind of like with Lainey, and how in the fan scanlation, I remember it as Raini, which is, that's the only thing I remember her name as, rye bread. Anyways, going back to the whole fact that here is Anise who is constantly giving Euphyllia compliments and praises, saying like, hey, you're perfect, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to be my assistant and all that. And, towards the end with her hugging Euphyllia and saying like, you did a good job, now fucking rest. Great job on you. It's that feeling of acknowledgement and that feeling of, you did your best, congrats. Well, not in the way that I say it, but again, it's just that feeling of acknowledgement, it's something that perhaps Euphyllia wanted, because she's over here being this perfect person, and perhaps there wasn't really anybody out there to compliment her, to praise her like Anise is doing right now. We could even see it with her father, and how he apologized for being a fucking shitty father, and also a shitty person, I guess. Sorry, he's saying not a good father, and maybe not a good person, alright? I suppose not a good and shitty, or, it's a shitty is a little bit worse than not a good. Moving away from the whole Euphyllia topic, and funny enough, the fact that, in this day and age, she truly is property. Alright, I'm gonna talk about that for a second. Orphanse is just over here like, yeah, we don't really want to just pawn her off to some foreign country, because that's exactly what she would be, since she's the female. She's the girl, she's the woman of the family and all that. We've got to pawn her off and get her married in order to have a good relationship with said country or whatever. We don't want to do that. We were trying to get her to, have a good relationship with the prince, so then the royal family and the nobles and all that, they would still stay secure and all that. But since that plan didn't work out, now she's being pawned off to Anise, as Anise's property, even though Anise says, I want her as my assistant, but, again, with the whole situation, it really, as Anise said, she has all the freedom, and Euphyllia has no freedom. And in this case, Euphyllia kind of still doesn't have that freedom, because, again, she technically was taken over by Anise and all that. So, alright, we're gonna get off of that topic and going into Orphanse and Grants, you know, and the whole situation with Algard, which I very much enjoy. You know, they've just two bros, you know, hanging out with each other, talking about their kids and all that. And I like that Orphanse know that his son has been messing around with Laini. And I think it's a scene that we'll see later, but I really like that he's taken knowledge of that, but he was just kind of like, I don't know, I guess I'll just leave him alone for a while. And then he finds out about the fact that Algard has announced the breakup in front of like a whole bunch of people, so now he can't just take that back, which is a part of Algard's plan. You know, if he went to his father and say like, I want to get rid of this, you know, his father could just be like, no, and he'll cover this whole shit up, or try to get Algard to be in a better relationship with Euphyllia and all that. But Algard, of course, wanting to walk his own steps, he decides to do it in public, where his father can't take that back. But again, it's a very asshole move, and he dragged Euphyllia down with him. Good for him, you know? We'll just have to see how his father deal with him later on, whether we'll see it a little bit in the next episode or not. I don't know. We'll just have to see. He has no sense of the standards he should strive for as the future king. He certainly has been acting quite boldly. Okay, alright, understandable. I just wanted to take a look at that conversation before Anise kicked in. The other thing that I wanted to... Well, I mean, I kind of wanted... I forgot to talk about it in the previous episode, and that is on the topic of Algard, again. And how you kind of see the way that he acts towards Anise, and how in the beginning, when they saw Anise with the wolf head and all of that, and then just people talking about Anise and how like, oh man, if only she wasn't this weirdo, and if only she could learn, if only magic, you know, the magic spirits love her and all that, if she could use magic, she would have been a great queen. I think that's what they said. And, you know, we have Algard over here just fucking gripping his fists like, ooh, I can't believe it. So, it's, you know, it seems like there's that inner hatred that he has for Anise, whether it's because Anise is talked about a lot just because she's a fucking odd child and all that, and also the fact that she could be the queen, but she decided to renounce the throne, and then because of that, Algard has to take up her spot. And perhaps, as he said, you know, he'll pave his own road. He doesn't want to follow whatever the fuck that he has to do for like the royalty and the nobles and all that. And also the fact that Laini is like kind of like part of a commoner family. Is that what it was? Or yeah, I believe that's what it is, because if we're talking about like concepts of isekai, villainous isekais, you know, she would be a commoner. But I believe she is a commoner, and that's why, you know, people are having well, no, her dad is a baron, right? So he's kind of, is it nobility? Yeah, whatever. I don't know. She's on the lower class if she is a noble. She's on the lower class of the nobles. Which is an interesting spot for Algard, consider with what Euphyllia was thinking about the concept of magicology, and how she was thinking inside like, hey, if this whole magic stuff, this magicology and all these items, if it gets out and it gets to, you know, the rest of the people in the country, that's going to essentially give people equality to the people who perhaps aren't as good in magic or can't use magic, because the concept of magic is very much tied to royalty and nobility. So, you know, I assume like high class people have a lot more magic to use compared to the commoners who are out there, you know, living their life and all that. So having giving this magic to the commoners, you know, as she said, how will the conservative nobles feel about that? So it'll be an interesting thing to when they do start releasing the magic stuff to the people all around and how people will react to that. And also consider that the title of this is called The Magical Revolution. So anyways, I don't know what happened and how I got here because I feel lost. I feel like I've rambled off into something and now I've lost my train of thoughts. If I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. If I've lost it. I've lost my outro. Anyways, whatever. See you later or something.